So I'm going to use this lovely fair cotton by Katia to make a corner to corner rectangle. It's beautiful 100% organic cotton and fair trade as well. It's been made by farmers, the cotton has been made by farmers in Tanzania and India, and they get a fair wage, which is fantastic. Okay, so we're going to start with a slip knot. There we go. And 6 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we need to make 3 treble crochet stitches. That's UK treble crochet stitches, 1 in the 4th, 5th and 6th chain from the hook. Yarn around the hook into the stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn around the hook into the next stitch, yarn around the hook, pull through the 2 loops, then to finish off the stitch, pull through 2 loops, yarn around the hook into that last chain stitch, and don't make that chains too tight, otherwise it's hard to get your hook into. And there we go, that's the last of the 3 treble crochet stitches, and that's the corner block, the first block of your corner to corner triangle. So then we do that again, 6 chains, then treble crochet stitch into the 4th chain, into the 5th chain, oops, trying to do this slowly so you can see it clearly, there we go, and then yarn around the hook and into that last chain. Then you find the chain space which is next to the first of the treble crochet stitches that you made, and you put your hook into the chain space and you make a slip stitch and then 3 chains and then 3 trebles all into that chain space, and then you've increased on that row from 1 block to 2 blocks. So we're going to make a rectangle which will be 3 blocks wide, and then I think we're going to make it say we'll make it 6 blocks long. Okay, so we're going to increase to be 3 blocks deep, so we need to do 6 chains. I've already done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to treble in the 4th, 5th and 6th stitch, and then turn and make a slip stitch in the chain space, 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, a slip stitch, 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3. Let's come to the end of that row, and if we turn it over, we can see that we've got 3 blocks in this direction and 3 blocks in this direction. However, because we're making a rectangle, we're now going to decrease. We're going to stop at the 3 blocks on this side. We're going to decrease along this side, but keep increasing on this side. So to decrease, to make a straight edge on this side, we then turn and do slip stitches into each of the top of the treble crochet stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and each time I'm putting my hook in underneath the V of the stitch, slip stitch, and then do a slip stitch in the chain space. Make 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch, and 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 trebles, and then a slip stitch in this final one. Now if we were just making a square, a little square, what we would then do is turn and do the slip stitches into these stitches, and then we'd have just a 3 by 3 small square. However, because we're making a rectangle, we can then go ahead and do 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and 3 trebles, so then what we've got is we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks along that side, and steps of 1, 2, 3, 3 steps. And then if we wanted to carry on, so we'll make it a bigger rectangle, we then do chain 6 and turn, and then do our treble crochet stitches in the 4th, 5th and 6th stitch, and then work our way back along these steps and do a end with a slip stitch here, and then turn and do our decrease. So I've got my rectangle of 1, 2, 3 blocks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I don't want to add any more blocks to this side. So at this point I can finish off this rectangle by slip stitching into those first stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch into the 3 chain space. And I'm going to make my 3 chains and 3 trebles, and then slip stitch, 3 chains, 3 trebles into this chain space, and then slip stitch into this last chain space here. Now I've already got a straight edge there, so I don't want to make another block on this side. So at this point, turn in slip stitch into the first 3 treble stitches, and then slip stitch into that chain space, and then for the last block it's 3 chains, 3 trebles, that's 2, and then 3, and then a slip stitch into this last chain space, and then I've got my rectangle of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks along one side, and 1, 2, 3 blocks along the other side. And that's how to crochet a corner to corner rectangle.